some years ago, says that if nothing's moving, as far as what's impeding you, like it could be a job, could be relationships. Could be your dream. What you think your life is supposed to be about. Could be a habit. And most of us, if we get stuck, it's fairly obvious when we get stuck. Like in a car, the car was moving down the road, and all of a sudden it's in the ditch. And it's a no-brainer to get help at that point. It's usually a no-brainer to, if you got AAA or something, you call that AAA people. It's no-brainer normally. But the harder things to get stuck is the ones that we get stuck, it's been a slow process to get stuck. It's not been something quick. And then sometimes we almost make excuses why we're stuck at that point. And almost, I don't know, lock it in why we're stuck. And I go back to different things. I still need to lose about probably 20-some pounds. I've heard it all when I've led Weight Watcher meetings. People say, I'm just big boned. That's why I'm heavy. My metabolism is no good. That's why I'm heavy. And everybody comes up with all sorts of reasons why they are the way they are, why they're stuck in whatever they're stuck in. The harder ones are the ones that it's been a slow process to get stuck. And if nothing moves, sometimes the thing that gets the most stuck is our thinking, is our attitudes, is our approach. If nothing moves, maybe you need to move your thinking. Getting unstuck. So we talked about this last week. We talked about in 2 Chronicles how Jehoshaphat, they were stuck between this rock and a hard place. They were going to get squashed. Stuck, caught or held in a position so that you cannot move. How many like that when you were kids, say uncle, whatever, you caught in this position. Everybody doesn't want to say uncle, or, you're caught in this thing, and unable to solve a problem or change a situation. I think a lot of us maybe understand that deal. We go through life saying, I didn't sign up for this. This is not what I thought life was going to be. This is not where I thought I would be at age whatever your age is. All of us have our ideas, and in some ways we're stuck in certain things, in a situation that you do not like, but cannot avoid. That's probably the ones that I hate the worst. Because some of us, I would say the overwhelming majority of us, like for me, being stuck in an overweight body, I like food. What can you say? If you don't like, Benita made something one time, we're trying to do this losing weight thing. Benita makes something. And I say, you make that every day, I will lose weight. Why? Because I hated the taste of it. But when you're starting to try to make new recipes and stuff, you get some gronkers along the way. I don't even remember what it was. Some things you just need to cast out,
There are some things to remember, like lentil loaf.
Lentil loaf.
Yes. It's supposed to be like meatloaf. No. The dog wouldn't even eat it.
almost sounds heavy.
It was very.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you know, you eat that every
And
day.
you add stuff like you would add to meatloaf to that lentil bean thing.
Oh my goodness. You'd definitely lose weight if you had to have that every day.
I would eat it.
As I say, you definitely lose weight, you know. But the problem is this: we're right in a situation that you do not like, but cannot avoid. Most of the situations that we get ourselves into, we somewhat like them. That's the tension. That's the hard part about getting unstuck, is because we like some of it. That's part of the problem sometimes. But how about the situations that you do not like, but cannot avoid? The anger almost rises within that one. Trapped, caught, ensnared, burdened. How many want unstuck or changed from something in your life? Who doesn't want some change in your life? The secret to getting some change in your life, it really isn't that hard. It was some years ago, I was reading this. It was a book on Christian education. And it talked about the major events in our life and the little choices that we make. And it made this clear, and I never forgot. I mean, this was 30-some years ago. 35 years ago, I read this. It says it's all the little decisions that we make every day that determine who we are. And, you know, in some ways that gave me hope. You don't have to make some weird big decision, you know. But then, if I'm going to change all the little decisions I make every day, then I have to approach my whole life in a different manner. It's the little decisions we make every day that determine who we are. So in order to have some change, you just have to make a number of little decisions. But those little decisions are challenging because we're in ruts in the way we do things. How many of us know we're creatures of habit? We have a tendency to sit in the same chairs. Maybe not in here, maybe sometimes in here, but at home. How many of you have your chair around, you know, maybe in the living room or at your, you know, wherever you eat? Everybody has their chair. I forget, just trying to think where we, I did a meeting this last week in Dayton. And people sat down, and I sat in a chair, and it was like I was sitting in someone's chair. I didn't know it was their chair, but we're creatures of habit. It's all part of it. And the car's stuck. Praise God, if all our problems were that clear. We're in a ditch. I need pulled out. I need to call for help. God, make our problems, whatever we're stuck in. Because this has got to be practical, or this isn't practical. We're just going through a bunch of gibberish today. I want you to think about something that you really believe you're stuck in. That there's no way out, that you would, if you got unstuck from that thing, your life, you would have some freedom. Amen. You would have real freedom. And I want you to think about that. But as you think about this, I want you to think about this concept. What does God want you to get unstuck from? What does He want you to get unstuck from? I mean, I think we need to think about what we think we need to get unstuck from. That would make us free. But think about God. What would He say that if you get unstuck from this, then you really are free? What would that be? Think about those two things. They may be related, they may not be interrelated. But Lord, whatever we're stuck from, make it this clear to us. That we can see it crystal clear. That it won't be muddy. Maybe underneath by the tire it's muddy, but it won't be, it'll be crystal clear. The old cow stuck, his head stuck. Poor cow. How would you like to try to get the cow's head unstuck? That's tough, isn't it? I don't know if I want to do that. Why? There's resistance.
Lots of parts flying.
Do we ever have resistance when someone tries to help us get unstuck? We have resistance too, don't we? How many have ever said, I got myself in this problem, I'm going to have to get myself out of this problem? Oh my goodness! The gospel's not even in that statement. I mean, there's no Jesus in that thing. That's all about our pride and ego. We don't want anybody wants to help us, and there's a lot of weirdness in that one. Help him, Lord, or her. Poor turtle. He looks miserable. I mean, look at those eyes. Look at those eyes, man. He's bugging out. It's not happening for him. He got flipped over and his whole world got turned upside down. Does it feel like that? If turtles feel, I think they feel. Poor squirrel, man. How do you get out of there? I mean, I'm sure he figured it out. Man, squirrels are, they're jittery. They move a lot, He just probably wiggled himself out somehow, but, he doesn't have much, he definitely has no kicking room back here. He's got to figure it out somehow.
I seen a video, one of Eric's funniest videos, these girls actually helped a squirrel like that. They pulled him out. They got 2 of them and pulled a squirrel out. Yeah, so it needed help.
It needed help to get out of that.
It did, yeah.
Okay, all right. And the poor doggy, he is stuck, and he got stuck.
I can't do anything with that myself.
And and sometimes when we're stuck, we gotta, we're hurting. When we're really stuck, we're hurting. And anybody that touches our little ouchie, man, it hurts worse. But, I mean, look at the dog's eyes. I mean, he just looks sad, doesn't he? He looks like, I'm miserable, and I need out of this life, this part of life. And there's the truck, he's thinking he can get out of there. And that's what we do sometimes when we're stuck. We spin, and we think we can get out. Stuck in traffic. Have you ever done this when you're going down, you're getting on the ramp, and you see it's backed up, and I'm starting to think about an alternate route before I actually get on the highway. But normally that's not even faster, because it's worse out there. And there's the doggy, man, it's stuck. And that's the main sticking point is our head. Do you understand that? Are you stuck? We looked at this last week where Jehoshaphat stopped everything he was doing, considered his ways, inquired of the Lord, called a fast. Everybody stopped. What if we would just stop? We can dig our hole deeper, folks. What if we would just stop and I'm going to concentrate on this one right here. Become desperate. That's the one I'm concentrating on today. Could I sit in that chair, Joe? I'm sorry. Because I have a video clip. I'm going to stop the clip.